Hello, welcome to Trains in World 6. Today we are continuing our journey, well, Railtour journey on, I've got something, yeah, continuing our Railtour journey along the West Coast Main Line, going from, today, Milton Keynes to Crewe. I will get the correct date, which was the 8th of June, and get the time set up. Right. Gives me time to walk down to platform 6. There will probably be a train in the station, and this journey will be done in 3 blocks. First bit, Milton Keynes to Rugby, then Rugby to Stafford, and Stafford to Crewe. Found out with a bit of testing that the path, if I just do Milton Keynes to Crewe in one go, means I can't stop at Rugby and Stafford, which is something I actually want to do. Wherever your curiosity takes you, your money is in safe paws. That's quite cool. Right, we're going to use the lift.
Doors opening. Lift going down. Doors closing.
Down we go. Yeah, it's just that way.
Doors opening. Lift
Yeah, there's a train in our platform, so we'll have to walk to the end of the platform. That leaves in 2 minutes, well, just over a minute. And then we can put our train onto the platform. I'm only walking because it's quicker. Just have a look. Which unit is it? 46. There's an Evero Twin 805, I think. Let's have a look. Oh, it's an 807. 006. Interesting. Anyway, we need to be up here, ready to spawn the train in, which is class 33, 33012, and 7 loaded Mark 1s. We'll just have to pretend that the coaches are central door lock fitted.
Thieves operate at this station and across the railway network. Do not become a victim of crime. Please also note that in the interests of safety, cycling, skateboarding and rollerblading
I might as well get the thing set up. We want 7 loaded. Move back a little bit. It's currently red. And green. There we go. D6501. Get in. Close the door. Oh, it's 33002 this time. Handbrake is released. Open window. Sit down, get the doors done. Set that up. Key in. Back to forward. Headlight on. Instrument lights on. Brake to initial. And then we go into this. And go set path. Past Wolverton.
Please be aware that opportunist
Past
vehicles
the
operate at this
junction
station
for
across the railway network. Do not become a victim of crime. Please also note that in the interests of safety, cycling, skateboarding, and rollerblading
we're going to go
are
into
not permitted
platform
anywhere
2.
on the station.
Right. That was the junction for Northampton Loop. Wait for a green signal before we actually go. Ah, there's the cab light switch. Useful. Works on both. Okay, we've got a green light. So close the doors. Get a thumbnail type image with space above for the writing. And off we go. On our way to, first of all, Rugby. 31 miles to Rugby. It's 102 miles to Crewe. I'm sure the class 33 we had last time was 33012 rather than 002. Oh well. It's still a class 33. So let's accelerate up to line speed. I will be going into photo mode and getting some screenshots, especially with junctions around Northampton Loop, the tunnels, both the entrance and the exit. Interesting. A car park. I'm trying to stay in the cab while I'm driving until I go into photo mode. There we go, green signal. Should be able to get up to the 100 miles an hour. Even though these are limited to 85, it won't tell me off for going above that. So that's what I'll be doing. Going above 85 miles an hour. That's probably service and Crewe, but it could be Birmingham. I have no idea. Some buildings there. Normally, I'm trying to concentrate on driving and looking out the front, remembering the there's a viaduct here. I wanted to see that bridge, and I've gone too far over it. Which road's that? The A5 goes from there to there. So I don't know which road this would be. Can't tell. Unfortunately, I went into photo mode a little bit late. Which is a bit annoying, shall we say. Right. These Railtour videos will be a once a week thing. Is that come out? Yes. With them being on a Wednesday for 8 weeks. And this is the second one. Nice block of flats. And what looks like industrial units. But yeah, I'll be doing these once a week for 8 weeks. The first 4 are the northbound journey to Carlisle. Next week will be Crewe to Preston. And then it'll be Preston to Carlisle. That industrial unit was Wolverton Works, which, strangely, you can't actually go into, despite it having things to reference it. The wagon wheels. Ooh, this looks like an interesting viaduct. That's a nice bridge. Can I get close to it? I like that bridge. Can I get a shot from on it? Let's go down to person height. That looks cool. Angle up slightly and do that. Uploaded. This is a gorgeous little area. Okay, the water ends there, but it also goes around that way. And what about over here? Oh, can't go under the bridge. Weird. But it's 2 different periods. You've got red brick closest to me, and blue brick over this side. Interesting. Let's do a drone shot. The entire train. That just looks bare. And then you've got loads of trees by the water. And a little lane. It's a cool looking viaduct. Really is. Carry on. Head 28 miles to Crewe. Rugby. I know we're going to Crewe, but Pendolino. Once we've stopped at Rugby, I will set up a path to get to Stafford. We will not be stopping at any of the stations on the Trent Valley Line, even though a lot of rail tours do stop in Nuneaton these days. Sorry about that. I caught my microphone stand with my glass of water. Bit daft to me. But yeah, we're gonna do non-stop over the actual Trent Valley Line, which is Rugby to Stafford. We will stop at Stafford and then 24 miles to Crewe. Will be non-stop because there's no stations. And we will go into platform 12 at Crewe, because that's usually where Railtours go. Right. Going uphill slightly, so that's why we're only doing 50. Pendolinos along here will be doing 125. Because they have enhanced speed, or enhanced permitted speed, EPS, because they can tilt. These can't. You know what, let's make it a bit quieter. That's better. Wouldn't normally be running windows wide open. A lot of cows. Right. Doing 59 miles an hour. Speed is going up, slowly. And I'm keeping an eye on distance to Rugby. Because, as I said, we're stopping there, and I don't want to overshoot the platform, because it'll be a red signal. And that will be an instant fail. I'm surprised that... oh no. The lines on the other side, while they are technically slow lines, they are also the lines for the Northampton loop. So we'd have to be on this side anyway. Just means that we've probably got trains behind us. Let's have a look. Yes, there is one behind us. Pendolino. That will probably pass at Rugby, maybe. Driver won't be happy being delayed by a slow moving Railtour. But there's not much you can do about that. Theoretically, I could make it so that I go on the slow line out of Nuneaton by calling into Nuneaton. Then I get trains passing me. I might do that actually. Stop at Nuneaton and then Stafford and then Crewe. It'd be probably quite well, it's realistic because Railtours do stop in Nuneaton. They also stop in Tamworth, but I don't want to stop in Tamworth. I just want to go straight through. And then stop at Stafford. "75 miles an hour. If we were in Flying Scotsman, this would be the speed limit. There's a class 350 on the slow, so that's done the Northampton loop. Got a fair wait before we get to Northampton Loop junction. So this is an old station site. You can tell by the way the tracks are. I think we're coming close to the southern end of the Northampton Loop. Yes. There's the cutting. What I want is a screenshot of going under this bridge. So there. Something like that, and that. It's an interesting cutting, this. The supports are angled and they're metal to prevent it actually collapsing. And then the trains going to Northampton go that way. Don't know how far I can go with the camera. It'll go like that. That's as far as I can go. That's a nice bridge. Let's get a screenshot from around there. And do one of these as well. Stop playing up. Thank you. We'll carry on. We've got 2 tunnels between here and Rugby. First one is relatively short, which I will try and get a screenshot of both portals. The entrance at the south and exit at the north. And then we've got the long one with the 2 air vents, which I'm thinking of trying to get some impressive photos from inside the tunnel. So before I go into that, I'll turn cab light off briefly and then get a screenshot of the loco going through the... what's this one? That's a nice looking bridge. That's a really old looking bridge. Should we go on the path and go a bit further back? Oh, we can't go any further back. That's the edge, so we'll go to this bit. It's a weird brick. Oh, no, we can't fly through the bridge. How far over here can we go? Doesn't quite work from this side, does it? Unless we go into drone mode. It's a nice looking bridge. And then track worker. And we'll carry on. As with all my videos now, these screenshots will be at the end of the video. So, you'll be able to see them again. For longer. Slightly. That's canal. That's engineering siding. Another old station site. When we go over the canal nearly at Watford Gap, I want to actually, or when we're near the marina, which is just south of Watford Gap, I want to get a screenshot from there. Because I think that would look quite cool. It can be impressive. Right. I've deliberately got the camera at this angle so I can see when I'm getting close to flipping controller. Caught my glass on my controller, which knocked my hand into the microphone stand again. But yeah, I want to see when I'm at Watford Gap and I can see it better like this. And get some interesting screenshots of a Class 33 doing 93 miles an hour. That is quite a crazy speed for a Class 33. Must have been re-engined. Technically, I don't need the AWS because I'm not doing this as a scenario or anything like that. But it is useful. Here's the marina, I believe. What bridge is that? Ooh, how high is that? 3.5 metres. That is not very well modelled. That's the first thing I've seen on this route that genuinely is not very well placed. That is just a little bit skew-whiff, shall we say. I thought I was near the marina. Obviously not. Lots and lots of cows in the field. Fields, plural. And on this side, it's just almost bare. We'll carry on heading to Rugby. Ooh, we're going uphill again. Get to Rugby. Let passengers jump on. I think for parts 3 and 4 we'll change to having a steam engine. So there'll be a loco change. Oh, it's the first tunnel. So cab light on. and get a screenshot before we go into the tunnel. There's the tunnel portal, which looks quite impressive. I don't want the overhead mast. Let's get my train into shot. And move down. And then come over here a little bit. D6501 into the shorter of the two tunnels. And screenshot coming out. Ooh, that's a nice portal. Go down. Get it framed. What about on this side? That looks quite cool. And my controller's not... Will you stop it? Now I've got to reframe it. Thank you. That's actually quite a good shot. No, that doesn't work. Okay, we'll carry on. Turn cab light off. I've got a bit of distance before we get to the long tunnel. Just thinking... Yeah, Watford Gap is between the two tunnels. That's a church. Where do I see the church? Ah, wow. That's a big church. That's a really big church. And another impressive viaduct. Let's get my train so it's over the road. Can we can't fly under any of the viaducts. With the church sort of in the background. Can I go like, ooh, that works. Okay. Advance a bit more. Got the stained glass window in shot. So get a nice angle. Once again. Gonna work. You're taking your time. Yay. That looks really nice. Carry on and watch for Watford Gap, Marina and everything. But things like that really do make a route be amazing. Yes, there's bits where some scenery that I know is there in real life is missing. But the other scenery, things like those viaducts, is exceedingly well executed. Which makes this route one of the best available. It's my personal favourite because of the fact that I live alongside it. But I do enjoy it. I like seeing the scenery. I like the variety of trains that will eventually be able to do it. Because at the moment, there's less freight or goods on it due to the fact that the Class 70 has not yet been released. When that is released, then it'll be a lot more traffic. There's the marina. So I think, oh, that's caravans. There's the marina. So if I move the camera, there's another impressive viaduct, or bridge in that instance. It's a single span. But if I can get to a boat, I can't go over to the boats. Not fair. Let's get a screenshot of the marina anyway. While I'm in that mode, I will have a look on Google Maps at the name of that marina. Wilton Marina. And just out of shot, other side of road, is Wilton Locks. Let's have a look if Wilton Locks are actually modelled. Because I know that some of the locks around Atherstone have not been modelled. There's a radio mast for the railway. Can we see the lock? There's the road. The lock should, theoretically, be over there. Let's go up a bit higher. No, it's Plain Canal. Ooh, low bridge. Should we get my train onto the low bridge and get another screenshot? Even the cars are moving, which is quite cool. Move that up like that so I don't start moving while I'm doing the camera. That's a really narrow bridge, as well as low. I think the car that's in the ground is going to go through the wall. Shall we see? Yeah, it's another one where the bridge hasn't been placed accurately. Or the road done properly. Short distance will be at over the Grand Union. I'm going to have to get a screenshot of this from the towpath. That side works better. There's a lock, and you can see the Grand Union is a trunk canal, because the narrow boats that are in the background are really narrow and the lock is broad. Anything visible on that side? No. It's an impressive bridge, even for a 2-track line. Nearly at Watford Gap, but I like that. Let's get a screenshot of that as well. We'll carry on, and then we'll go into screenshot at Watford Gap, which is basically the border between north of England and south of England. I don't know why, because it is fair way south. I always think of north of England being further north than Nottingham, rather than Watford Gap. I mean, Meriden is effectively the centre of England. Centralmost point. That's not far from where I am. And, well, ooh, an 807 will soon be at Watford Gap. There's Watford Gap services. Just there. Watford Gap services. Electricity generating wind turbine. Couldn't think of the correct term then, but yeah. Watford Gap services. M1. Let's get a shot with the wind turbine in the background. I wish it had stopped doing that. And that. There we go. Let's carry on. 7.5 miles to Rugby, so time to just coast. As we go under which road's that? I'm pausing so I can take a look. That is the B5385. Oh, no. It's the A5. That is the A5. Because there's the B3. B5385. B5385. Watford Gap is famous because the A5, the M1, the West Coast Main Line, Trent Valley section, and the Grand Union Canal are all within a short distance of each other. I'm just looking. which road that was near. Ooh, there's a karting circuit in Milton Keynes. Didn't know that. Where's that one with the island that was interesting? Can't find it. But that's meant to be the A5. And we'll be coming to Long Rugby Tunnel soon, which is, I'll put a bit more power because we'll slow down too much otherwise. Long Rugby Tunnel is the long one with the 2 vents. As I said, I am going to go into photo mode, both for the entrance to the tunnel and for the exit. As well as the 2 vents, because it's quite cool. So, there's the entrance, which is quite an interesting design. Similar to the one further south. Cab light on, just until we get towards the first vent. I don't want the cab light on in the vent for the screenshots. You can have a quick look around in the vents for ooh, collectible. That would be a Class 807 model. But yeah, I want the train a bit further forward. Coming into the light. I wanted it without the cab light on because it looks better. That's actually quite... There's the top of the vent. I don't know if we can actually go over the tunnel in free cam or even in photo mode. I like the interior lights as well. Looks quite cool. The only thing that detracts from this is that the model stands out too much. Okay, we'll carry on with the cab light back on until we get to the next one, which I'll leave the cab light on for the next. Leave the cab light on for the next end, which is here. A bit further along. There's collectible there as well. Wagon wheels. And some sleepers. I don't know how you're meant to get them. Have you got to walk through the tunnel? But there's the... It's quite cool that you can actually go into photo mode and get the train going through. That's the light effect. But the vents are where the tunnels were dug out from. And then just used for days of steam to let the steam escape. So the drivers and firemen did not get asphyxiated. Or passengers, for that matter. Here's the exit, which is subtly different. Once again, it's doing that, so it'll probably do the did not upload thing. Correct. Try again. You gonna work? Thank you. Now we'll carry on. And definitely cut power now, because we're only 4.3 miles from Rugby, where we are stopping. So I want to slow down and come to a stop in platform 2. The train following me should go through on the fast, theoretically. Just over there is Daventry International Rail Freight Terminal, or DIRFT. There's no scenarios using that at present, which is a bit of a shame. There's no timetable mode using it either. So to actually look around it, you have to go into free roam and look around on foot. Which, for a site that is quite big, it's quite bad. Right, 2.7 miles. We're slowing down nicely. Substation for the overheads. There's the Daventry. The Northampton line. That will be a Crewe to London service. Just a guess. No, it wouldn't. It doesn't take just 10 minutes to get to Rugby. That would be a Birmingham to London service. Here's the first yellow. I actually got the AWS the moment it came up. That's good. Nearly in Rugby proper. One and a half miles. Come on, put the brake on a bit. I want to get down below 30 miles an hour. Even though we're going downhill. Next signal will be single yellow. I bet the train that's following me would be really annoyed, because I'm delaying them considerably. The moment I see the exclamation mark, I press the button. Which really does make it so I'm not getting a long AWS alarm. Right, release brakes. Rugby South Junction. Which is cool. It's an interesting junction, this. Let's just have a look. Using that. You've got a road that goes over with a footbridge. You've got plenty of track, and the line we're on is in a deep cutting. Can I get a shot with the bridges? Yeah. Hopefully that'll work. It did. We'll carry on into Rugby. Come out of the cutting. I like the way they've got the plant life in the cutting walls as well. It's a detail that doesn't need to be there, but they put it in anyway. Takes a bit of time to get the brake started. There we go, there's Rugby. And into platform 2. As I said, the Pendolino that's following me should, in theory, go past now. While I am stationary in the station. There's a few scenarios on this station. Wasn't expecting that. Once we've come to a stop, like so. We'll do the doors. Like that. Get screenshot of the train in Rugby Station from both platforms. I have no idea if... Oh, there is a train coming up, look. So that'll be passing me. Or going into platform 1. I'll get a shot of that in the station as well. Look back to see it. It's a Pendolino. There we go. Raise camera a little bit. See if that'll work. Yes. And now we will set path. Zoom out a little bit. There's Nuneaton. We will go into platform 2. Which is where that should theoretically pass. Unless it goes in front of me because it's got a red. I've got a red signal. And I can't see that. Oh, we've got a yellow on the signal line next to me. I mean, there's another train. Yes. Fast moving Pendolino. Close the doors. That one's going to Birmingham. Or not. Wonder who'll have the signal first. The Pendolino or me? And there's Pendolino number 152 passing 33002 and Pendolino number 40, which technically has done... Oh no, it hasn't. I was going to say, it looked like it had done a spad, but the signal's on the other side. That's quite a cool image. I can actually release brakes and just creep to the signal. I don't know which of us will get signal first. Which way is he going? Straight up the Trent Valley Line. Let's just creep to the signal. He's got green, so I've got to stop. It's expected. I'm going to the slow, so... I'm just creeping to the signal. Which is what I'm meant to do, according to the game. We'll stop just here. And wait for the signal. Wonder where my rear end is still just in the platform. And I just realised I haven't got a red light on. Can I put one on before we get going again? No, it won't let me put a light on. That's bad. Supposed to have a red light on the back. One thing I could do. It's naughty. Very naughty. Got a green signal. Let the brakes off. Can I have that door open? Hehehe. That's being really naughty. Shouldn't really do that, but... on our way to Nuneaton, platform 2. 14 miles to Nuneaton. So, not too far. We'll do the 3-track section where there's 2 up lines and 1 down. And we'll be on the down. Then at Attleborough Junction we will take the slow line. I don't know whether pathwise it'll keep me on the slow between Nuneaton and Stafford though. It would be more realistic if it did. But at the moment I don't know what it'll do. Full power. We've had 2 Pendolinos pass us. Probably have more at Nuneaton. There's the Birmingham branch. I'm always going to call it the Birmingham branch for the simple fact that it's 2-track, whereas the Trent Valley Line is 4-track. Yes, it's the older line, with the Trent Valley Line being somewhere around 20 years younger. But the Trent Valley Line is the main route for goods traffic, trains to and from Scotland. Even the Manchester trains mainly use the Trent Valley Line. So Birmingham is technically a branch because it's not the most used. That's how I see it. We are on the slow, which is what we're supposed to be. Means that any Pendolinos or 805s behind us, not that there is any, there's the tunnel, but it means that they can get past. There's road. I'm not sure how far away from Nuneaton the line goes down to 3-track in the northbound direction. We've already done 3 miles since Rugby. And we are currently running green signals. Hopefully the 2 Pendolinos will not be held at signals for us to go past, because we are an extra train. And I am hoping the section between Nuneaton and Stafford we stay on the slow, at least until the old Shugborough station, which was the Stafford end of Shugborough Tunnel. Though Colwich to Shugborough is two track. So it's definitely a choke point. Unfortunately, it can't be quadrupled there for both geography reasons and, oh yes, we were on the slope. Now we're on the down. That's all it is, down. There's no up. Well, there's no fast or slow on the down direction here. Whereas the up line, which is the stuff on the right, you've got the up slow furthest from us, and the up fast next to us. There's the... It's either the Grand Union or the No, it's the Oxford Canal there. .726. We've been going for nearly 40 minutes, I'm guessing. Yeah, 40 minutes. And it's in game 40 minutes. Real life, probably a lot longer, I just haven't had a timer going. The Oxford Canal will start moving away from us when we are near Brinklow, which is a nice little village. It's got a nice community centre. I've done training there. Strangely enough, both times I've done training there have been different courses. The first one was... No, both first aid. To do my job I have to have a current first aid certificate, and the first aid course was at Brinklow both times. Just different rooms. It is a really nice community centre they've got. And Brinklow is just over there. Because this, just up here, is where Brinklow station was. Almost. Actually, no. The first training at Brinklow was first aid. The second one was safeguarding. 3 years in between them, which is why I'm having to think. First aid was done in village over that way, alongside the Birmingham branch, strangely. There's Brinklow. So we're nearly at the underbridge that... There it was. A farmer, skip lorry driver wrecked. That's Brinklow, so we haven't reached the bridge yet. I am deliberately slowing down. We've got a facing point up ahead. It's not showing on the heads-up display yet, but it will do, because that's Attleborough, which is 40 mile an hour. There's the first bridge, and there's the one that the skip lorry damaged. And again. Wish it had stopped doing that. But yeah, skip lorry. I can actually go under this bridge. This side, this last beam here, got pushed off because he went under with the crane raised, because it's a roll-on, roll-off skip lorry, and then started reversing instead of lowering the crane. Which sort of pulled from there to there on the lower bit, but all of this lot off and down onto the road, exposing. Oh, there's the ducting, so it must have been that side. Interesting. It exposed the signalling ducting and made the ballast not safe. So trains are using these two lines instead. Actually, I like that shot. We'll carry on. Slowing down for Attleborough South Junction. Just gone over the Ashby Canal. Which I've walked along part of. Double yellow. Oh. Interesting. Should normally have gone onto the slow line there. But it put me on the fast. Weird. Single yellow, next signal's red, which will be before Nuneaton. It's interesting that it's put me on the fast. Millennium footbridge. Green. The light. The darker green. Okay, bit of power. Don't know why it's put me on this line when normally we're on that line, coming into Nuneaton from the south. It's interesting. We're getting to Nuneaton. Load passengers. And then, well, while passengers are loading, it's going into photo mode because we can have a look around. And also see if there's any expresses coming. Right, signal is red, so don't know why the signal's red. I'm gonna have to stop. No, I'm not. It's cleared. Obviously it was while the points were changing for me. As I said, normally passenger trains come in on that line if they're going into platform 2. It's just odd to be routed slightly on the fast. Given the time, we've got 20 minutes before the northbound class 350 comes through. There's the Coventry line. Don't know how far along there you can actually go. Over the other side is the Hinckley and Leicester line. There's a Coventry train in platform 1, or a Leamington train. Which goes out in a couple of minutes. Into a nice gentle stop within the platform. Oh, I'm hitting the wrong button. I was accelerating, not slowing. That was a bit daft. Hopefully I'll stop before the signal. Yep. Do the doors. What time does that go? Doesn't say. But that's the line to Coventry, Leamington, Kenilworth, Warwick. And that one, Hinckley, Leicester. And then Birmingham. Both of those go to Birmingham. What I want is a screenshot like that. Because why not? Screenshot of my train in Nuneaton station. Come on. Do the sound. Thank you. I'm going to have a look if there's anything else in the station that's worth getting a screenshot of now. Well, there's nothing going to Birmingham or Leicester. 7:51 Stansted Airport. What about on this side? 7 8:40 Birmingham New Street. 4 minutes. Oh, 7:48. That's 12 minutes. That's a bit too long to wait. What about London? Go past the repeater. London Euston, 8:11. 7:43 Euston. We'll pass that between here and Tamworth, maybe. 8:10 Manchester Piccadilly. And then 7:54, which is what I said. This, which should be a 172, to be accurate, for the period that the route's not set. They never ran 170s, they were 172s, or 171s. That goes in a minute. So, could theoretically go into free cam and watch it go. Which, actually, I might just do. Free cam while my train is doing passengers. There's nothing due through, so I can sit there for a few minutes. Oh, there's Pendolino. I'll have the free cam sitting here, and then wait for the Leamington service to go.
For your own safety,
Like
you
it
are
currently
reminded
is.
to stand behind the yellow.
These are now done with Class 196s. It's rare. 3-car unit. Right. Wrong button. Map. Set path. Next stop. Stafford. Which is there. And we will go into... Can we go into that platform from... Yes. Okay, 34 miles to Stafford. I just want to see... Is it putting me on the fast? Yes. Okay. Interesting. What about further on? Do I stay on the fast all the way? That's Atherstone. One thing I want to check, because I had a little... No, it stays on the fast. Okay. And then slow at Lichfield. Yeah, okay. Just so I'm aware. Two 805s. Closing doors. Releasing brakes. Still releasing brakes. Taking its time to release the brakes. There we go. Off we go. That's weird. Cab moved sideways before it started going forwards. Wasn't expecting that. And we go out onto the fast until we get to Lichfield, when we slow down, cross over to the slow, accelerate again. Can't understand why it's making me go through the slow, but soon find out. Trains to Birmingham, that line. Oh, there's a Pendolino. That looks like it's coming in to stop because it's not going fast. There's the Birmingham line via Coleshill Parkway. It's the only station. Oh, and Wateraughton. Coleshill Parkway, Wateraughton. The only two stations still open between Nuneaton and Birmingham. We get to go up to line speed, slow down for Atherstone, where I will get some more screenshots because I want to try and recreate some of my video type shots. Especially going over the cattle bridge. I can impersonate my action camera that way. I can also point out some of the differences, shall we say. Which, if you don't know the line, you wouldn't notice. I know Atherstone Station really, really well. So, was that a flag on that bridge? No, it's graffiti. Graffiti that I don't think is there in real life. There's way up to the canal, which is... get the mouse. That line there is the canal. Goes round to the backside of Nuneaton. Carry on. I'm not getting screenshots of random things most of the way. Oh, I've got the lights off. Oops. Forgot to turn the lights off. Don't need them until we get to Shugborough, which is a good 25 miles away. So I'm not having them on until then. I'm just trying to work out where I am in terms of location. This, I believe, is Canal Farm Junction, because that used to be a line up to the Mansetta quarries. You can still see the track bed and even walk it. And then we've got more Mansetta quarries. There's a 3-foot gauge tramway that went to there. This bridge is a nightmare. And over yonder is Dobby's Garden Centre. It's 90-mile-an-hour speed limit on the fast through Atherstone. Though most of the time, trains are going a lot slower. I mean, I've got footage of Sir Nigel Gresley on the slow, which is 60 miles an hour, with a Pendolino coming through just 1 or 2 miles an hour faster. That was either last May or the May before. And it demonstrates how slow Atherstone really is. But with it being that wiggle, it's understandable. And the wiggle was put in because people who own still Merevale Hall didn't want a railway cutting up part of their land. So they put a wiggle in. We are Manchester, nearly at Atherstone Station, so I will be going into photo mode. Here's the curve that a lot of my videos feature. Trains coming round. And here's the station. Right. Photo mode there, because I always try to set up my video camera so it is roughly, it's a bit too high, there. We'll get one of these. It's playing up again. Don't know why it does that. It's annoying. Right, missing from there the signal phone, which they've moved, oh shut up, to there. It shouldn't be there. None of them should be there. They're on the platform. It's one phone for all the signals. There's supposed to be more bushes and trees there. The back of this car park is fenced. Wooden fence and security fence. That horse chestnut tree is actually there in real life. Not over there. So it's been moved by a few feet. And then on the station building, this plaque, Association of Railway Preservation Societies and Ian Allen Limited, Best Station Competition 1985, First Class Award, presented by David Shepherd OBE to Atherstone. It's not there. It is actually just there. The centre of that. It's visible from the car park. That wall's a bit long, because you can see the thing from there, and it's visible from there. I can understand why they moved it, so that it is even more visible, but it's still not in the right place. The signal phones here aren't there either. There's one of Spudman's potatoes. But that is the only surviving station building of that type anywhere. I mean, the One at Tamworth was knocked down in the 70s. Nuneaton didn't have that type. Those chimneys are impressive, but they're spiral in real life. They're not perfectly straight. They've got a slight spiral to them. That's a good angle. I like that. Nowadays, this station building, I'll move the camera so I can get the whole thing in shot. But that station building is not used as a station building. As you can see, there's a fence. There is actually a gate just there. Or is it there? One of those two is actually a gate to get into the car park there. But the car park is because it's a vet's. And over the road, and not modelled, is a funeral director's, which is bad. Why are you walking in the what road, you silly person? Really silly. This is the lowest bridge on the line, 2 metres. And yes, there is always a puddle there, even in hot weather. Right. Now, we go to where I set up my action camera, which is just there, at that sort of angle. Field of view, other way. And slightly up like that. There we go. Let's just look at what it would look. I could, theoretically, set up a camera here as well, get the bridge twice. Slightly angled down so I don't get as much sky. I might try that. Because I always set one up there, looking slightly north. And why not put one up there? That doesn't work when it's too low. But yeah. That's weird. 1.9 metres this side. Two metres this side. Yeah, it's the same bridge. I want to get pictures of that. I'm going to see if it is like that in real life. Because it'd be weird if it is. I mean, surely they've measured it. Is that accurate? No. It actually says on there, Platform 1, Tamworth, Lichfield, Crewe, North. That's right when it says Platform 1 and Centre. Oh, there it is. They've moved it. Tamworth, Lichfield, Stafford, Crewe. And then trains to Milton Keynes and London Euston, Platform 2. It's weird how the northbound is Platform 1. Still accelerating. That's where FedEx UK is based. Used to be TNT. There should be some houses over there that have been cut out. Lockmaster's cottage for the lock number 6 on this canal, just here. Lock 7 has not been modelled, but they have modelled Baddesley Wharf. Shall we go a bit further this way? We can see it better. Baddesley Wharf, which is there, was where the Baddesley tramway from that's a full Baddesley tramway, which was up there to Baddesley Colliery, came down, and before the railway, coal was transshipped to canal boats. It's also where a very famous articulated steam loco ran, crossing the A5 on the level multiple times a day. It then pushed up to 17 wagons. They've done Aldi. It pushed 17 empty wagons back up. It would only have 13 loaded going down. How well have they done underneath the bridge over the canal? Fairly accurate. They've got the indents in. That's actually quite cool. And you can jump up. The older bridge, pre-1929, is that one, with this side being newer, because the line was quadrupled 1929. You can actually tell the difference underneath. Those are reasonably accurate. Just up here is engineering compound for Whittington Lane, which in real life is not a busy road. It's a lane. It goes around the back of the Aldi distribution point, which is also their head office. Strangely enough, the Aldi in Atherstone is the most expensive in the UK, despite head office being within walking distance. It's because they've got no competition. Their only competition is Tesco. So, and it's only a Tesco Extra, not a big Tesco either. Next bridge, just there. That is Spon Lane. That way is Grendon. It's a bit wide. Not quite accurate. It's not actually that wide. This is still part of Grendon, but it's where the bottom of Atherstone's 13 locks is. Lock 13 is roughly in there. That's a humpback bridge in real life, not a flat bridge, as is shown there. And that is the Coventry Canal. But yeah, that bridge is not accurate. It's not that wide. Not really. Just round this bend, there's a footbridge. And then the place where I saw went and photographed my first mainline steam tour, which was 2003-2004 time. There's the footbridge. And here, if I get this to about there, I was over by this fence. If it'll let me get close. Not quite. Standing at the fence, watching LNER Class A2, number 60532 Blue Peter. It was going from London, strangely, Carlisle. I wish it was available on Trains in World, because Blue Peter is still a loco that I absolutely love. We're nearly at Polesworth. In fact, we are at Polesworth. That was the sewage farm, which frequently has sewage enter that, the river anchor, and the canal, which is a bit annoying. The one near Hartsill also has that happen, usually when there's been heavy rain, which there hasn't been recently. That's Polesworth Station, a parliamentary station. That was the river anchor again, which sees one train a day calling to the northbound platform only. It's ridiculous. People who want to use trains to get to and from work in Polesworth only have one, and it only goes north. It's the very first train, which is 6 AM through Atherstone, I believe. Comes from Northampton. That's where it starts. It's the only train of the entire day along the Trent Valley Line that starts in Northampton, or goes through Northampton. The rest use the route we've used through the two big tunnels. This is the edge of Amington. That's Moor Lane. Number of times I've walked over that and then walked into Warwickshire Moor, which is over there, just so that I could enjoy the scenery and the wildlife. Amington Junction. That road was meant to be a more direct route into Tamworth. It never got finished. It would have gone around and then a new bridge under the Birmingham and Derby line, after avoiding these caravans, static caravans. And Tamworth. Is there anything in the high level? No. That station building replaced one that was almost the same as Atherstone in the 1970s. And it was British Rail that did that, not Tamworth Council. But Tamworth Council turned around and said, okay, when they asked if they could do that. Let's get a screenshot with as much of the station in as possible. Like so. Tamworth or Tamworth, if you're local, has, not that it's visible, the nation's favourite castle. Can I zoom in? You've got St Edith's Church there. The castle should be where those blocks of flats are. Unfortunately, it's not been modelled, which is a shame. One of Tamworth's landmarks, and it's not visible. Ooh, the fan works. Didn't notice that. Interesting. But yeah, the castle was voted the most popular, or the favourite castle. The nation's favourite castle back in 2010, I think it was, when they were doing the nation's favourite building. It beat Warwick Castle, Kenilworth Castle, Windsor Castle, Edinburgh, Cardiff, Leeds, which isn't in Leeds. It topped everything. There was only one building in Britain more popular, and that was Buckingham Palace. So it came second overall. This is the Birmingham to Derby line. That way is Birmingham. Stations between Tamworth and Birmingham being Wincott, Waterorton, and then Birmingham New Street. That way is Derby, with Burton and Derby being the two stations. And then it joins onto the East Midlands Railway thing. I do have the route with Derby Station. I've not done a video on it yet, strangely. So this is another line that would be interesting on Transit World, because you've got the Birch Coppice Business Centre, which has a rail link from Kingsbury. You've got Hams Hall, which can be accessed from this line, or the Nuneaton to Birmingham line, because that's just how it is. It's just, those aren't actually meant to be proper brick buildings, they're caravans. They're static caravans in real life, not buildings. Yeah. That's another thing I've noticed. Don't know what that is. Never really looked. Yeah, it would be an interesting line. The track around Burton's interesting. And you've got a link to the Cross City line near Lichfield. Well, Alcott. So, it's a route... That's loud. It's a route that I would love on TSW. Make it feel more interconnected, because it goes to Birmingham New Street, just like the Cross City line, the Grand Junction Railway, which is Birmingham to Crewe. They'd also need to do Rugby to Birmingham, Nuneaton to Coventry. They could do Leamington Spa to Leicester. That'd be an interesting route. Or Leamington Spa to Nuneaton. It's not a long route, admittedly, and in terms of drivable traffic, you get some goods if they're having to be diverted, and the 172s or 196, 172s are no longer used. It's just 196s now. But you give them into the game. This line, you have 350s have been replaced by 730s now. This bridge was renewed in 2004 because the section between Tamworth and Colwich Junction was quadrupled. It was double track, with it being, I believe, this side that was the original double track. That's a Crewe to London service. It was originally this side that was there, if I remember rightly. And we'll find out when we cross over another bridge, because you'll see the older structure. I know I've got to slow down for Lichfield, so I'm going to cut power, because we're on the edge of Whittington, which is a nice little village. But just over there is Hopworth Woods. I remember, yeah. I think this is the side that was there originally. With... Still can't tell for that bridge, because that's a new bridge. It was extended, or quadrupled, because of those ones that have just gone past. The Pendolinos. Here's where we find out. Right. Okay, maybe not. I'm sure there's a bridge along here that... There's the canal. That is the Lichfield Canal. Lichfield and Haddington Canal. So... it's interesting. The furthest along Coventry Canal I've been. Oh, sorry. Just have a bit of water because I've got a frog in my throat. Yeah. At this point, it's the Coventry Canal again. All the way to Fradley Junction, which is about that way somewhere, I believe. That bridge, half of it is new, half of it's the old one. I can't remember which side is which. That's now, or currently, used by boaters that just want to moor up, because it ends about quarter to half a mile that way. And this lot are building something to actually go over it, so that even though it's currently not there, they are restoring the canal, which is cool. Something I want to go actually have a look at is the work they've done. But it's basically going to be an as and when I can afford it. Over HS2. Hansaker link. Got to get down to 50 miles an hour. Or slower. Because the signal will be against me until I'm closer to it. Under the A38. One of the longest A roads in Britain. Goes from Cornwall up to nearly Scotland. Northumbria, in fact. This is Lichfield Trent Valley Station. Is there a train? Yes, there is. These are now 730s as well, rather than 323s, but the 730 is not in game yet. That'll be heading towards either Bromsgrove or Redditch. Bromsgrove. West Midlands Railway Service, which won't be running at the time of recording next Friday or Saturday, because the managers are on strike again. How to tell that I'm annoyed still. A couple of weeks ago I wanted to go to Cheltenham to go to the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Railway. I couldn't because there were no trains. The trains were cancelled that day, which really annoyed me. Especially as I'd paid money to get a ticket to ride on the Gloucestershire and Warwickshire Steam Railway. I couldn't get that money back. So that cost me a lot of money to be able to do nothing. And WMR, stroke, LNWR, whatever they are now, don't pay money for that kind of thing. It's just, yeah. I'm not making plans to go to other places. I knew it would go green, so I didn't stop. And go up to 50. Going on to the slow line, which means there'll be a train passing me. Let's have a look. Can't see one. There's one. So we'll probably have a red signal before Colwich. We've got to go around this bend before we come to the junction. There's a junction name there. Didn't notice that. When I do a random exploration, I will find out the names of the various junctions and find out where they are. But at the moment, I'm just enjoying driving the route. Yes, I've done conductor mode, as they call it. And this is a Railtour, but I still haven't really explored places like Longbuckby Tunnel. I know where the collectibles are now, but I haven't been into it on foot. I've not been to DIRFT, Daventry International Rail Freight Terminal. I've not really looked around the freight yard at Crewe, which I'm not going to say because it can sound wrong. BAS Ford Hall. It can sound like I'm saying a word that's not polite. So I'm not going to keep saying it. Unless I put a pause in. I believe we're approaching Armitage. Polytunnels. Strangely, they're in all year, whereas in real life they disappear over the winter. It's cheaper using them than it is using greenhouses. And it protects the crops from heavy rain and scorching sunlight. Though the weather we've had so far this summer, they would have been destroyed anyway. But yeah, those polytunnels are useful. They look ugly, but they do protect crops. So they're useful. .76 miles an hour. And this is Armitage, where if you know about certain commodities, shall we say, that this is the modern side. You can tell by the gabions. That's the bricks in cages along there, or the stones in cages. So the line was originally on the other side here. But yeah, Armitage is where Armitage Shanks is based. That's bathroom wares. In fact, that is meant to be the factory. Just there. Been a long time since I last went through Armitage. There's another Pendolino. Should have one pass us between here and Curdworth. I mean, not Curdworth. Colwich. Curdworth is south of Nuneaton. This would be a neutral section. So if I was driving something like Class 86 and it was powered up, you'd get the thunk and it'd power down. We'll be at Rugeley soon. Ooh, the fast line's got a red. We're going into platform 6 at Stafford. And then Crewe will be going into platform 12. because that's where rail tours go. At the moment, I'm considering doing parts 3 and 4 with Steam, but it's a lot more difficult, so I might just continue with this. It does mean I keep the same coaches, or similar, though the number will change. Can't be helped, unfortunately. This is Rugeley, where one of my nephews lives. It's a nice little station. Spent a good 40 minutes there in April, waiting for a train. Unfortunately, it was a windy day, and I was a bit tired. But it was a nice change. Right, we've got a 90-mile-an-hour speed limit. We've got a green signal coming. Well, don't know whether we'll get warnings for Colwich, because it's a trailing junction for us. Yeah, Rugeley is a nice little station. You've got Rugeley Trent Valley, and then that line that came in from the left, which goes to Birmingham New Street, goes past Rugeley Town, which is a little station. And the platform for trains from that side only fits 3 coaches for the new 730s. So they are 730/0s. The Birmingham Cross City route uses 730/1s. Trent Valley Line uses 730/2s. 730/0 is 3 car. 731 is 4 car. Is Colwich. And the 732 is 5 car. Though it's the same length as the old, or slightly longer, ever so slightly longer, than the 4 car 730s. 350s. Not much longer. Just a fraction longer, and the interior is very open. You don't have partitions. Right. Cab light on because we're at Shugborough. Just gone over the original driveway to the house. I've got screenshots going over that quite a few times, so I'm not going to bother you again. Here's the modern driveway to the house. You can tell by the shape of the bridge. And here's Shugborough Tunnel. So, just realised I was pressing the engine start, which would have been bad if it had turned the engine off. We'll get a shot like that with the loco going towards the tunnel. There's a puddle on that. Does that reflect? No. That would work. That's an impressive structure. Can I fly over? I know it's got a slight curve in it. I just want to see if I can actually... Can we see Shugborough Hall? No. Okay. Can actually go over the top. should start turning. There we go. I don't think... Oh, there's the hall. Cool. I don't think you're meant to actually be able to get up this high. We're on top of the tunnel. Otherwise they'd have all the trees there. Because we're right on the edge of Cannock Chase. Where's the track? There's the river. The River Sal. And... where is it? There it is. There's the track. There's the tunnel. Can I get over into it? No, it won't let me get to the actual track. That's annoying. It's pulled me away. Oh well, we'll have to go through the tunnel, which has a curve, as you can see by the 4.4 miles to Stafford moving. And we will get a shot of the train just exiting. There we go, there's the impressive portal. The north portal looks much nicer than the south one. I want to try something. Can I get a view? Looking down. Why are you playing up, internet? Don't normally do this. It's only started recently. Right. We'll carry on. I have deliberately cut power. There's the pond. I'm starting to slow down because we're stopping in Stafford anyway. There's the old Shugborough station and the village I love. Wish I could go there again. I think it's Milton, something like that. Let's zoom out. Milford. Not Milton, Milford. So basically a ford with a mill. I wonder where the ford was. Probably where the canal now crosses the River Sal. Right, 2.6 miles. We're now on the 4-track section. The slow lines are both there. We're on the fast, but we're going slowly because we're stopping. Trying to stop with vacuum brakes is difficult. I just have to remember which buttons on my controller to press. Unlike at Nuneaton, where I started accelerating, which was daft. The return journey will be stopping at all the stations we stopped at on the way out. For the simple fact that that's how Railtours operate. They do stop at the same station as they stop going on the outbound run. Okay, I can start applying a bit more brake. Onto bridge over river. That's the River Sow, which runs that way to Penkridge, which is on the Birmingham to Crewe line, or the Grand Junction Railway. I have done videos on that route. We have got double yellows, we're following something. Either that or we'll have to stop for the signals to, or the points to change. Which is why I'm not speeding. Does mean that any train following me has to go slow. Like that one. That stopped at a signal. Oh, that's the tunnel. Is it around? It's southbound. Interesting. Joining up to the Birmingham line, just up ahead. There it is. Oh, not quite. Just a bit more around here. Yeah, we'll have a red because of the points. Interesting. There used to be a lot of sidings over there. They have gone. They were there up until relatively recently, because I remember seeing them. There's the Birmingham line. I'm deliberately crawling now because the points should change by the time I get to the signal. Yep. Though for some reason I've not got a route indicator saying returning to the left. Interesting. Meant to be going across to platform 6, which only has trains coming from Crewe normally, which is why I'm using platform 6. Is there a... There's a train in platform 4, which is this end. That's probably been held until I'm in. There's also a Evero on platform 2. Yep, that one's going now.
You are reminded to stand behind them.
Doesn't matter where along the platform I stop, as long as it's before the signals. Right, remove path. Open doors. Photo mode. See what's around. The Evero has just left. Where's that heading? Well, there's a train due in 8:32. That's 15 minutes. Quite a while. What about on this one? 8:32 as well. 9:30. That's a triple 350. This one is due out in 7 minutes. Birmingham New Street. Birmingham New Street. Actually, it's just going. So get a screenshot of that. This should have a display saying where it's going. Not in service. Interesting. It's a northbound one. And then London Euston via Milton Keynes. That'll be going Trent Valley. And that looks like it's a double 805. It is. 002 and 004. Doesn't look like there's many passengers on board. In fact, it doesn't look like there's any passengers on board. Let's get an impressive shot. Like that. So that Evero that's not in service has been following me. Rather than overtaking. Looks like a 7 car. So it'd be an 807. No, it's an 805. I like how the shadows work on this. Right. Set path. It's going straight through, is it? We are going to platform. We can't go to platform 12 because there's already a train on it. So we'll have to go. Are you going to let me set path? This gonna work if I go to here? Why can I not go into Crewe? Okay then. We shall call to... Where's the signal? Won't even let me... Thank you. We'll stop there first, and then go in. Currently got a red signal because that 805... Yeah, 805 went through. 22 miles, which is a mile shorter where we need to get to. But we can't do anything until the... going round... That would be class 37. That's sitting there. Leicester to Crewe South Yard. It goes at 8:31, so by the time we get going... Locking doors. Is there another train in section or something? Yeah, there's a Pendolino. By the looks of it. So we'll be waiting for that. As it comes down here. In fact, should be able to see it. Let's go again to that platform.
24-hour CCTV recording is in operation at this station. Purpose of
Might as well just have the doors open while I'm waiting, because that is going straight through. Move the camera a bit closer so I can see the signal. Closing that door at last. Hey, door's closing. Brake off. And 22 miles to just short of Crewe. By the time we get there, the 37 should have cleared platform 12, and we can call in there. Interesting, we're staying on the slow at the moment. I thought we'd have crossed over onto the fast. Okay, we're crossing over in 100 yards. Didn't realise there were that many crossovers. Crossing over in front of a class 350. Whoops, speeding. Once we are clear of the junction, we can accelerate. Those puddles aren't actually there. Found that out by looking on Google Maps. They're not actually there. Those little ponds. It's just... I don't know why they were put in. There's actually a river along there, which then crosses under somewhere. But there aren't the ponds. Look, a Voyager. I'm gonna get a screenshot. Passing that. That's going to Birmingham New Street. As can be seen on the display. Has it got passengers on board? No. That's weird. But then, mine's supposed to be loaded. And there's no one on board. Interesting. And I've just realized... There's people there. I think I've realised... Oh, there's the brake coach in the middle. So why is the brake coach in the middle? Weird. Really weird. It would explain why I can't put a red light on the back. There we go. Got some screenshots. As I said, screenshots will be put at the end of the video. Gives people more chance to see the photos or screenshots. And it's effectively a virtual version of my real railway videos. Yeah, those ponds aren't there. Not in real life. So, I don't know why they've been included. It's weird. With a capital W. More wind turbines. And M6. It'll take a bit of time to get back up to speed. And we will definitely have to stop short of Crewe. Before being able to path into platform 12. And then part 3 next Wednesday will be on the Crewe to Preston route. I think I will do the same train, though it'll be a different loco, obviously, because you can't just... it won't let you choose the same loco. And we'll then go to Preston via Warrington, Wigan and Preston. Probably won't stop until Preston though for that one, and then it will be up to Carlisle over Shap, which definitely will be non-stop. A lot of tours that I've seen stop at the places I've stopped on this one, and Crewe is the last stop before going non-stop to Carlisle normally. Have had tours with electrics that stop at Carnforth or just outside of Carnforth for the loco to be changed for a steam engine and then do the rest of the journey behind steam. But that's a bit difficult to do in the game. I'm gonna have to remember the train spotting point, which is just after the junction. That is Trent Valley service. It'll be close to 9 o'clock by the time we get to Crewe, because of having to set path for the last bit. Doesn't matter. That's Norton Bridge Junction sorted. Once we rejoin the slow, which is up here, in fact it's just here, and then we've got the bridge, and the train spotting point is just round this bend. Just there, where that white board was. 16 miles to go, or 16 miles to the train care depot. So about 20 to 25 minutes we should be getting to platform 12 at Crewe. Should. It's just going to take a bit of time, because I've got to go back into the map and set a route. Sorry, I don't know why I did that funny voice then. I'm going to go into the map and set the route once we get to the signal. The class 37 that's in Crewe at the moment should be leaving before I get there. going into Crewe South Yard, which is there. But at the moment, it's just sitting in the way. 8:31. Okay, I'm gonna have to go into platform 11. Which platform are you going into? That's why I couldn't go into platform 11. There's a train going into it. Yeah, 37 is in the wrong place. It's in the platform I wanted to go into. It's a bit annoying. So I'm going to go into platform 11, not platform 12. Old station. Not sure which one. There are a few closed stations on this bit of line. Three, in fact. I just can't remember them all. $12 miles to where we have to stop, and then select which platform we're going to go into. And I'll have to remember the time for when I record part 3, because I want to try and do it so that each video runs on time-wise from the last. Though the return working will start around 4 PM in-game time to head south. Meaning we'll be back around 9:30 in the evening. With it being June, it will still be reasonably light by the time we get back to London Euston. So that's realistic. I might make it 4:30. That was an 8:07. 10 miles to the signal. I've just realised how I could have made this so it went on the slow all the way. I've only just thought about it. You can set go via points. I didn't even think about that. Might try that on the return working. Have it so we have go via the slow line through Trent Valley. And this bit. That way we get faster trains passing and we don't hold any up. I'll see if that works, but that'll be for the return working. Won't be for now, because I'm nearly done. And I really don't fancy re-recording the video. it does take a lot of effort doing these videos, strangely. I'm watching the distance. When it gets to 5 miles, I'll cut power and start slowing. Because that way I can stop before the signal and then set the path to go into whichever platform is free. With a bit of luck, it'll be platform 11, which is easy enough to get to when we are travelling back 40 years to 1986. I could be really cheeky and do a section or do a future video going London to Liverpool, use the Spirit of Steam route and actually have it as a proper rail tour, steam rail tour, along the entire line. Just goes back an additional 30 years. To 1956 instead of being 1986 when we get to Crewe. Right, throttle back. We're doing 99 miles an hour in a loco rated for 85. That's mad. I am watching distance so that I can come to a complete stop before the red signal, because it would be highly annoying to get to the red signal and go past it. Another old station. I think that's Madeley. Not 100% sure. Right, I can bring the speed down. We will soon. There's an Evero 807. There's the first signal. That's what I was going to say, soon be getting the signals. 2.4 miles from the red. So about 3 miles from Crewe. Right then, next signal nearly upon us. Is single yellow. Okay, it looks like we're crossing over early. I'm going to stop a bit short because I've just hit emergency brake accidentally, and I won't be able to release the brakes until I come to a complete stop. Wait for the brake to come off. Here we go. Just coast a little bit. And get to signal. Which is still red. That's why I'm not speeding. Signal's just there. So it looks like we're crossing over. But we'll have to stop first. Okay, it's cleared. We've got 0.9 miles to the next signal, which is on the slow. Which is why we'd got the signal check. We are stopping at the next signal, no matter what, so we're not going fast. Probably annoy any trains behind me. Let's have a look. That one's the one that's just gone past. Can't see any. Can't see any behind me, so not annoying anyone yet. There's the junction for Crewe Stafford Hall. Did say I wasn't going to say that because of how much it sounds like another word. But oh well. So we're going downhill. I need a bit of braking power. And I don't want to go past the signal. There's the start of the freight yard, which we're not going into, because that would be a nightmare going at 10 miles an hour. And we're not doing a Branch Line Society tour, which would be over as much of the railway as you can do. Yards to the signal, slightly less to where I need to stop. Not sure which road that is. I'd have to look on Google Maps, but I'll do it when I'm stopped rather than while I'm still moving. Alarm. I'm already going slow, so it doesn't matter. Bring the train to a nice, gentle stop. Just before we get to the signal. That is pretty much perfect. There we go. Objective complete. The platform 12's clear. Right. Recenter on player. Set path. Yes. Wait for the signal. No idea where that 37's actually gone. There we go, signal's clear. Release the brakes. Why does it move sideways like that before moving? It's weird. 1.4 miles to Crewe. There was a train being delayed by me. That'll be going into... Please don't go into platform 12. Because I'll have to wait otherwise. Which, if that's a service to back to London, it'll be a long wait. Which could be slightly annoying. Soon find out. There's a Pendolino coming in the other direction. looks like the 350 has got a signal check. Maybe it is going into platform 12, but I've been given priority. Normally they'd go into platform 11 if they were that long. Or platform 6. Looks like it's supposed to be going into platform 12. So what I'll do is clear the line from my train so that it can go in. Wasn't expecting there to be a service going into platform 12. Oh well. They'll just have to wait. Because the Railtour is going all the way up to Carlisle. And has already had to check or wait at a signal once. Trying to slow down because it's 20 into the platform. Just here. As we go into platform 12, which has a bit of overgrowth. This is the platform that Railtours normally go into, so that's why I'm doing that. Let's just have a quick look. Where is that going? Yeah, that's going into platform 12. So, oh well. There's a Evero over there. Just heard it. AWS. Braking. And I'm going to stop roughly where I want to. Like that. Done. Actually, I want to stay in there. I want to get some shots in Crewe station. We will continue journey from platform 12 in 7 days' time. Just check the time in game. That's annoying. I'll have to stand up. 8:51, so it'll be 9 o'clock that we leave. Can we close the door, please?
For your safety and comfort, this station operates no smoking policy.
Close all the doors. One by one. In reality, there would be station staff doing this, but I'm just doing it to walk along, and then I will delete the train and let the class 350 arrive late. Just teaches them to not have a signal against them. I wouldn't have minded waiting a bit longer. Nearly done. Now what I do is that. Come along here. We'll watch the 350 arrive, because that will now have a green signal. Maybe not. Oh, it's got a yellow.
For your safety and comfort, this station operates a no smoking policy.
Where's the speakers? Interesting. There's an overrow over there. I'm just about to see it. We'll wait for the 350 come in, and then that'll be the end of part 2 of the tour, with part 3 being
The next train to arrive at platform 12 terminates here.
yeah, the part 3 will be back in time by 40 years, as we go from platform 12 of Crewe to Preston, non-stop. There's the 350. Just watch it come in. There we go. All 12 coaches. If it had been an 8-coach one, it would have gone in the bay, which is just the other side of platform 11. Oh, there's a Yeah, it would have gone into one of those two bays. The longer one, probably, had it been this one here, platform 7. But it didn't. It was too long, so it's 4 minutes late. I wouldn't have minded waiting, but actually, when is the next service out? 13. I would have minded waited, actually. So I'd have wanted to go... Oh, that's Bay. There. 9:08. Yeah, I could have gone into 11, but... oh well. We will continue our journey from platform 12 in a week's time, but also 40 years ago. So, thank you for watching. Enjoy the screenshots, and until the next video, have a fantastic time and be seeing you.
Railtour Productions. Filming trains and events that happen in town.
Wearing his red trilby, Dale can be seen with cameras 3 all set up.
Steam trains and diesels, electrics and freights.
Dickens and fireworks, tractors at Christmas.
Warbler Productions.